The air was thick with tension, and fans could feel the storm brewing even before the headlines hit. Tamar Braxton, the soulful singer known for her powerhouse voice and larger-than-life personality, suddenly found herself at the center of one of the most shocking rumors to hit reality TV in years. Whispers had been circulating for weeks, but no one expected the claim that Tamar had allegedly hooked up with none other than Toni Braxton's man, Birdman, to explode so publicly. The news spread like wildfire, igniting a frenzy on social media, and leaving the Braxton family's name tangled in controversy once again. As the story unfolded, emotions ran high and loyalties were questioned. Fans were divided, some refusing to believe Tamar could betray her sister, while others wondered if the glamorous music industry had finally revealed its darkest corners. Towanda and Trina Braxton, often caught in the background of family disputes, suddenly emerged as key players in the drama. Rumors suggested that they might have played a part in fueling the fire, whether intentionally or not, and the public was desperate to know the truth. At a recent family gathering, sources claimed that words were exchanged that no one will ever forget. Voices were raised, tears were shed, and the room reportedly shook with anger and disappointment. Tamar, known for her resilience, reportedly faced the accusations head-on, refusing to let her reputation crumble without a fight. Yet, even as she defended herself, questions lingered. Was this a genuine misunderstanding, or a carefully orchestrated drama designed to pit sisters against one another? Social media platforms exploded with heated debates, memes, and viral clips. Fans dissected every interview, every social media post, and every vague comment, searching for a clue that could reveal the real story. Speculation ran wild, with some accusing Towanda and Trina of manipulating the narrative to gain attention, while others insisted Tamar's side of the story had been drowned out by the noise of public outrage. The family, once admired for their closeness, was now under an intense spotlight, leaving everyone wondering if the bonds that held them together could survive this latest storm. No one could deny the gravity of the situation. Tamar's response, expected to be measured and composed, instead added fuel to the flames, leaving fans gasping and questioning everything they thought they knew about the Braxton sisters. Emotions ran high as every twist and turn seemed to draw the family further apart, and insiders hinted at more revelations that could shatter reputations and reshape alliances forever. The drama had only just begun, and the world was watching, waiting, and wondering, would the truth finally come out, or would this scandal tear the Braxton family apart for good? The tension had been simmering for weeks, but nobody could have anticipated just how explosive it would become. Whispers started innocently enough, casual mentions on social media and small gossip circles. But soon, the story of Tamar Braxton allegedly hooking up with Toni's man, Birdman, had taken a life of its own. Fans were shocked. Disbelief spread like wildfire. The idea that Tamar, the sister known for her vulnerability and fiercely loyal heart, could be involved in something so scandalous seemed impossible to some. Yet the evidence, or at least what people believed to be evidence, was enough to set the internet ablaze. Every fan page, every forum, every Twitter thread was buzzing with speculation. The family was under an intense spotlight, and for the first time in years, it seemed as if nothing could contain the drama that was about to unfold. Inside the Braxton household, emotions ran higher than ever. Sources close to the family revealed that Tamar had been blindsided by the rumors, but not paralyzed. She reportedly gathered herself, vowing to confront the situation head-on. Yet, even as she prepared to respond, the whispers grew louder. Towanda and Trina Braxton, often seen as the quieter, more measured voices in the family, were now at the center of speculation. Insiders claimed they had shared information, whether deliberately or accidentally, that sparked the media frenzy. Emotions in the family were a volatile mix of anger, hurt, confusion, and betrayal. Everyone had an opinion, and everyone wanted their version of the truth to be heard. The house was divided, and tension had become a constant presence, shadowing every conversation and every gathering. Meanwhile, the public could not get enough. Video clips of Tamar from recent events were scrutinized. Her body language, her smiles, her pauses all dissected as if the slightest twitch could reveal her guilt or innocence. Social media erupted with hashtags demanding answers. Some fans defended Tamar, insisting that there was no way she would betray her sister, while others were convinced the rumors had a kernel of truth. The debate was intense, and the pressure on the Braxton sisters intensified with every passing hour. The story was no longer just about a personal scandal, it had become a cultural event. A spectacle of emotion and intrigue that everyone felt compelled to witness. Sources claim that a particularly tense family gathering turned into a full-blown confrontation. Voices were raised, tears were shed. Words that could never be unsaid filled the air. Tamar, usually composed and in control, reportedly exploded in frustration. "Enough is enough," she shouted. "I have done nothing to hurt anyone in this family, and you all know it." The room went silent for a moment, but the tension did not dissipate. Trina reportedly shot back, her voice shaking with emotion. "We're not saying anything we don't believe, Tamar. The signs are there, and we have to face reality." The argument escalated, voices overlapping, emotions spiraling out of control. What was meant to be a calm conversation to clear the air turned into a war of words, each sister fighting for her own version of truth. The media, of course, was waiting. Cameras were strategically placed outside the house, waiting for the sisters to emerge and offer any hint of explanation. Interviews were selectively shared, edited clips went viral, and each word was analyzed. Fans felt as though they were witnessing history, as though the family's every movement could rewrite the narrative of betrayal and loyalty. The tension between Tamar and Toni's man, Birdman, was at the center of every conversation. The rumors claimed that there had been secret meetings, whispered phone calls, and private encounters that fueled the allegations. Every detail, real or imagined, was sensationalized, and the drama became almost unbearable for anyone remotely invested in the Braxton family saga. Tamar's response, when she finally spoke publicly, added fuel to the fire rather than calming it. She appeared in a live interview, her eyes glistening with both frustration and determination. "I don't know how many times I have to say this," she said, her voice firm, yet edged with emotion. "I have never, and I will never, betray my sister. The idea that I could, is absurd. This is a story made up to hurt me, to hurt us, and I won't let it." Yet, even as she spoke, some fans interpreted her intensity as a sign that she was hiding something. Speculation intensified. Trolls and skeptics flooded social media with wild theories, photoshopped images, and edited clips designed to convince the public that Tamar was involved in the scandal. Amidst the chaos, the role of Towanda and Trina became a key talking point. Insiders suggested that the sisters had been in contact with media sources, sharing certain messages, screenshots, and cryptic posts that hinted at Tamar's alleged actions. The family dynamic, which had always been complicated but loving, now seemed like a powder keg waiting to explode. Emotional stakes were higher than ever. Each sister's reputation, each public perception, was on the line. Betrayal, or the accusation of it, had become a weapon. And the sisters were trapped in a game where trust was fragile, and every word could be twisted into evidence against them. Friends of the family weighed in, offering statements that ranged from supportive to critical. Some defended Tamar, emphasizing her integrity and loyalty. Others hinted that perhaps there was more to the story, that the private lives of the Braxtons were far more tangled than the public could imagine. Each comment added to the storm, making it impossible to separate fact from fiction. Fans felt emotionally invested, as if they were participants in the drama rather than mere spectators. The stakes were intensely personal, the consequences potentially devastating. As the narrative unfolded, insiders revealed that Birdman himself had been caught in the crossfire. His interactions with Tamar were heavily scrutinized. Every text, every meeting, every casual social encounter was magnified under the public eye. Emotions ran high as questions of loyalty, attraction, and secrecy loomed large. Rumors suggested that the tension had reached a point where family gatherings became impossible, as even casual interactions were met with suspicion and guarded conversation. The public fascination only grew. Fans speculated endlessly about what had truly happened behind closed doors, with every twist more shocking than the last. The combination of social media frenzy, family arguments, and public speculation created a pressure cooker of drama. Tamar, Trina, Towanda, and even Toni were trapped in a narrative they did not fully control. Insiders hinted at secret conversations, heated phone calls, and private confrontations that would shock the public if ever revealed. Emotions were raw, stakes were high, and the tension between sisters, friends, and romantic partners had reached unprecedented levels. The story was no longer just about alleged betrayal. It was a battle for trust, reputation, and survival under the glare of public scrutiny. Yet, even amidst the chaos, Tamar remained defiant. She reportedly confided in close friends that she would fight to protect her name and her relationships. No matter how sensational the allegations became, "They can say what they want," She reportedly told a confidant, "But I know who I am, and I won't let anyone twist that into something it's not." The public, however, was not so easily convinced. Memes, edited clips, and fan theories continued to circulate. The tension escalated with each passing hour, and the drama, far from subsiding, seemed to gather momentum like a storm that could not be stopped. Inside the Braxton household, the consequences were immediate. Family dinners became tense. Casual conversations were laced with suspicion, and the sisters found themselves navigating a minefield of emotions. Love, loyalty, betrayal, and mistrust collided in ways that left the family fractured yet painfully intertwined. Each revelation, each rumor, seemed designed to create chaos, and the emotional toll was evident in every expression, every word, every hesitation. The public watched, captivated by the unfolding drama, unaware that even the smallest actions inside the family could become headlines the next day. The story, at this point, had grown beyond a mere scandal. It had evolved into a cultural phenomenon, a narrative that highlighted the complexity of fame, family, and the unforgiving nature of public scrutiny. Tamar's reputation, Birdman's image, and the perceived roles of Towanda and Trina were all at stake. Fans debated endlessly, choosing sides, interpreting actions, and creating theories that would rival any scripted drama. The tension, already at a peak, showed no signs of relenting, and insiders hinted that more revelations were yet to come, promising twists that would shock even the most devoted followers of the Braxton saga. The pressure was relentless, and the emotional stakes could not have been higher. Tamar, caught in a web of accusations, rumors, and public speculation, faced the ultimate test of resilience. The sisters, friends, and fans were all participants in a drama that blurred the lines between reality and fiction. The storm was far from over, and as the family grappled with the allegations, one thing was clear. The Braxton saga was entering a new chapter, one filled with conflict, confrontation, and shocking revelations that would keep everyone on edge. The tension that had been simmering inside the Braxton household showed no signs of easing as the days went on. Tamar, determined to defend herself, reportedly spent hours on the phone with close friends and confidants, strategizing her next moves. She knew that the narrative was spinning out of control, and every misstep could be amplified in the court of public opinion. The rumors of her alleged involvement with Birdman had spread so far and wide that even casual acquaintances were reaching out with questions, assumptions, and sometimes outright accusations. The weight of it all was immense, yet Tamar's resolve seemed unshakable. She refused to allow the storm to define her, even as it threatened to engulf the entire family. Meanwhile, Trina and Towanda's roles in the drama had become the subject of intense speculation. Insiders claimed that their supposed leaks had been strategic, though whether it was intentional or a result of frustration and fear was unclear. Sources close to the family suggested that the sisters felt caught between loyalty and honesty, unsure whether remaining silent would protect or further harm them. The delicate balance of trust and betrayal had reached a tipping point, and every interaction between the sisters carried an undercurrent of tension. Private conversations were rumored to have ended abruptly, with emotions flaring and harsh words exchanged that would later be dissected by fans online. The public frenzy only intensified when a video clip surfaced, showing Tamar leaving a restaurant with Birdman. The footage was short, but fans immediately speculated about the context. Some argued that it was entirely innocent, merely two friends sharing a meal. Others claimed it was the smoking gun that confirmed the rumors. Comments flooded social media, each more heated than the last, with fans debating her intentions, his presence, and the timing of the encounter. The clip, whether real evidence or misinterpreted moments, added fuel to the fire, further complicating the Braxton family's already volatile situation. At home, Tamar reportedly confronted Trina and Towanda, demanding clarity. The discussion, according to insiders, was explosive. "I need to know what you've said, and why," Tamar allegedly demanded, her voice shaking with a mix of anger and hurt. Trina responded defensively, insisting she had only shared what she thought was true, while Towanda's eyes filled with tears as she attempted to explain her position. The argument was said to stretch late into the night, with voices raised, tempers flaring, and emotional wounds deepening. The family, already under immense public scrutiny, was now further fractured by distrust and suspicion. As the week progressed, tensions escalated in public spaces as well. Tamar's appearances at events were scrutinized, and every interaction with Birdman became fodder for speculation. Fans and paparazzi followed, capturing moments that could be spun into either proof of innocence or evidence of guilt. The relentless attention created an atmosphere where every smile, glance, or gesture was interpreted through the lens of the scandal. Tamar's usual charisma, the very thing that had endeared her to fans for years, was now being dissected, criticized, and analyzed to an obsessive degree. Friends close to Tamar reported that she was struggling to maintain her composure. She spent nights awake, thinking through the potential fallout and weighing every decision carefully. Yet, despite the stress and pressure, she reportedly refused to bow to the gossip. She planned a strategic public response, intending to address the rumors head-on in a live interview. The stakes were immense. Her reputation, her relationships, and even her career were on the line. Tamar's determination to protect herself, though admirable, also added layers of tension to the family dynamic. As sisters and close friends navigated the treacherous waters of trust and perception, the conversation with Birdman reportedly added even more complexity to the situation. Insiders suggested that the two spoke at length about the public speculation, both attempting to clarify their intentions and protect their reputations. The dialogue, though private, became the subject of further rumors when excerpts were allegedly leaked online. Fans, hungry for every detail, debated the implications, dissected the tone, and speculated about every word exchanged. The public, hungry for drama, could not get enough, and each new revelation seemed to compound the sense of chaos surrounding the Braxton family. Towanda and Trina, meanwhile, faced an internal battle of their own. Insiders hinted at a growing rift between the two, as each grappled with the consequences of their perceived involvement in the scandal. Accusations of betrayal were whispered behind closed doors, and trust, once a given, had become a fragile commodity. The sisters reportedly met privately, attempting to reconcile their differences and clarify their intentions. But the weight of public scrutiny made even the simplest conversations difficult. Every choice carried the risk of further inflaming the drama, and both were painfully aware of the stakes. As the story continued to dominate headlines, social media became a war zone. Fans debated loyalties, dissected every gesture, and speculated endlessly about the motivations of Tamar, Birdman, Trina, and Towanda. Memes circulated, each more exaggerated than the last, creating a narrative that alternated between sympathy for Tamar and suspicion of her actions. Online communities were divided, with supporters and critics clashing in comment sections, creating an atmosphere of relentless scrutiny. The intensity of public attention placed enormous pressure on the Braxton sisters, turning every interaction into a potential flashpoint for further drama. Amid the chaos, Tamar's public statements became a central focus. In interviews, she maintained her innocence with unwavering determination, emphasizing that the rumors were unfounded and malicious. "I love my family," she said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion, "and I would never do anything to betray them. The stories being told are not only false but designed to divide us. I won't let that happen." Yet, even as she spoke, some skeptics interpreted her passion as evidence of concealment. The line between truth and speculation blurred, and the family's private turmoil became fodder for endless debate. Insiders suggested that tensions reached a breaking point during a recent photo shoot. Sources claim that Tamar, Trina, and Towanda were forced to work together under professional pressure, but personal grievances spilled over. Harsh words were exchanged, and emotions ran high, creating a charged atmosphere on set. The dynamics of the shoot, coupled with the ongoing scandal, reportedly made collaboration nearly impossible. Even the crew struggled to maintain professionalism, as the underlying tension threatened to derail the project entirely. The public, following leaks and vague posts online, interpreted every pause, glance, or reaction as confirmation of the ongoing feud. As the week drew to a close, the Braxton sisters reportedly sought private counsel to navigate the storm. Family meetings, phone calls, and strategic discussions became central to managing both the internal and public dimensions of the crisis. Tamar reportedly worked tirelessly to clarify her side, while Trina and Towanda grappled with their own positions and the consequences of past decisions. The combination of family loyalty, public scrutiny, and personal reputation created a volatile mix, one that insiders described as a powder keg waiting for a spark to ignite further drama. Yet, amidst the chaos, there were glimpses of resilience. Tamar, despite the relentless scrutiny and emotional strain, reportedly found moments of strength, reaffirming her commitment to truth and loyalty. Her friends and supporters rallied, offering advice, encouragement, and public statements defending her character. The drama, though consuming, revealed both vulnerability and strength. highlighting the complex web of relationships, emotions, and perceptions that defined the Braxton family's current reality. Fans continued to dissect every movement, every post, and every statement, turning the ongoing saga into an immersive spectacle. Speculation about Tamar and Birdman, the intentions of Trina and Towanda, and the overall family dynamic fueled endless debate. Insiders suggested that further revelations were imminent, promising shocking twists and emotional confrontations that would keep the world watching. The Braxton family, already tested by public scrutiny, now faced a challenge that threatened to redefine their relationships, reputations, and very sense of unity. Every conversation, every decision, and every public appearance became a battleground. The stakes were monumental. The drama had evolved from rumor into a fully fledged narrative of conflict, loyalty, and betrayal. Tamar's resilience, Birdman's role, and the perceived actions of Trina and Towanda intertwined to create a story that was impossible to ignore. Insiders hinted that private disputes would soon spill into public view, ensuring that fans remained captivated, invested, and shocked by each unfolding twist. The Braxton household, once a symbol of familial strength and cohesion, had transformed into a stage for raw emotion, heated confrontations, and complex dynamics that defied easy resolution. As Tamar navigated the public and private pressures, the stakes grew ever higher. Each revelation, each interaction, and each rumor added layers of complexity, creating a narrative that blended reality, perception, and speculation into a story that had captivated fans worldwide. The drama was far from over, and the world waited with bated breath for the next shocking development, knowing that the Braxton family's saga was entering a chapter filled with conflict, revelation, and emotion beyond measure. The following days brought no relief for Tamar or the Braxton family. The scandal seemed to take on a life of its own, growing larger and more convoluted with every passing hour. Tamar reportedly attempted to focus on her work, but every public appearance, every performance, and every social media post was scrutinized under a microscope. Insiders revealed that even casual gestures, a smile, or a laugh could be twisted into supposed evidence against her. The relentless attention created an environment of constant tension, where every step forward felt like walking on a tightrope over a pit of public judgment. Trina and Towanda, still navigating the consequences of their perceived involvement, were reportedly in a constant state of anxiety. Sources close to the family suggested that each sister had her own perspective, her own version of the story, and her own grievances, which made reconciliation difficult. Private conversations often ended in frustration, with words that cut deeper than any headline. The family dynamic, once grounded in loyalty and shared experience, now felt fragile, vulnerable to the smallest spark that could ignite another argument or rumor. The sisters were caught in a delicate dance, balancing familial love against perceived betrayal, and the outcome was far from certain. As social media fever reached new heights, the public became increasingly involved. Fans dissected every interview, every clip, and every statement, debating the motivations and actions of Tamar, Birdman, Trina, and Towanda. Memes, videos, and posts circulated with relentless speed, each one adding another layer of interpretation, suspicion, or support. The online conversation became a battle of perception, where truth was often secondary to spectacle. Insiders suggested that this pressure was deeply affecting the sisters, who found themselves navigating a storm they had little control over, yet were forced to respond to at every turn. Amidst the chaos, Tamar reportedly took steps to clarify her position directly with the public. She appeared in several interviews, addressing the allegations with a combination of vulnerability and assertiveness. "I love my family, and I would never do anything to hurt them," she insisted, her voice steady yet laced with emotion. "The rumors about me and Birdman are completely false. This is about creating drama, nothing more." Yet, despite her insistence, skeptics and rumor-mongers remained unconvinced. The intensity of public scrutiny created a scenario where even her words of truth were twisted, leaving Tamar in a state of constant vigilance, ready to defend her reputation at a moment's notice. Tensions escalated further when news sources claimed that there had been secret communications between Birdman and certain members of the Braxton family. Whether these were innocent or suggestive, the leaked information caused renewed waves of speculation. Fans debated motives, timing, and possible hidden agendas, creating a scenario where the private lives of Tamar and Birdman were public property. Insiders claimed that the sisters felt trapped, unable to control the narrative and forced to watch as speculation morphed into assumed fact. Every conversation, every gesture, and every social interaction became fodder for public consumption. The dynamics between Trina and Towanda reportedly grew increasingly strained. Sources indicated that the sisters struggled to align their narratives, each defensive and wary of the other's statements. Conversations that had once been warm and cooperative became tense and loaded with suspicion. "We can't keep going like this," one insider claimed, Trina said during a private discussion. "Every time we speak, it feels like another rumor starts. We need to be careful." Towanda reportedly agreed but added that the pressure of family loyalty and public scrutiny made it nearly impossible to navigate without causing further friction. Meanwhile, the public's fascination showed no signs of waning. Every outing, every event, and every casual interaction was analyzed and commented upon. Fans speculated about meetings, private conversations, and even nonverbal cues. Images were dissected, and video clips replayed endlessly, with each moment becoming evidence in the court of public opinion. The combination of fame, scandal, and family drama created an environment where the Braxton sisters were forced to exist in a constant state of tension, aware that every action could be misinterpreted and broadcast as proof of wrongdoing. Insiders revealed that Tamar, determined to maintain control over her image, began coordinating with trusted friends and advisors to manage her responses. She reportedly planned interviews, social media posts, and public statements with precision, knowing that each word could either calm the storm or inflame it further. Yet, the unpredictability of the public's reaction meant that even the most careful messaging carried risk. Every clarification seemed to open the door for further scrutiny, creating a cycle of defense and accusation that was exhausting and emotionally draining. As the days unfolded, the interplay between private conflict and public speculation became increasingly complex. Tamar, Trina, and Towanda were navigating a landscape where truth, perception, and rumor intertwined, creating a narrative that was difficult to control. Private family meetings reportedly ended in tears and arguments, as each sister tried to assert her perspective and protect her reputation. The emotional toll of the scandal became evident, and insiders described the household atmosphere as tense, fragile, and on edge. The saga also revealed the personal stakes involved. For Tamar, the allegations threatened not only her reputation but also her career and personal relationships. Insiders suggested that she felt an urgent need to clarify the truth to protect her future. For Trina and Towanda, the situation carried both emotional and reputational consequences. The sisters reportedly struggled with the balance between family loyalty, personal integrity, and public perception, and each decision carried the weight of potential fallout. Amidst this pressure, Birdman's involvement added another layer of complexity. Sources claimed that his interactions with Tamar were being interpreted through multiple lenses, each more dramatic than the last. Casual conversations, professional meetings, and public appearances were all scrutinized. The intense focus on him created additional stress for Tamar, who reportedly felt caught between defending herself and managing the perception of others. The emotional burden of constantly being under public scrutiny took its toll, creating an environment of anxiety and tension that pervaded every aspect of daily life. Meanwhile, rumors about possible alliances within the family continued to circulate. Some insiders suggested that Trina and Towanda had been discussing the situation privately, exploring strategies to protect their own reputations while managing the fallout from Tamar's alleged involvement with Birdman. These discussions, though confidential, reportedly leaked in bits and pieces, fueling further speculation and debate among fans. Every revelation, every insinuation, and every fragment of information became part of a growing narrative that seemed impossible to control. As the public waited for clarity, the Braxton sisters reportedly worked tirelessly behind the scenes to maintain some semblance of unity. Private meetings, mediated discussions, and careful planning became essential to navigating the ongoing chaos. Yet, the weight of public expectation and scrutiny remained a constant pressure, threatening to undo any progress made. Insiders suggested that the emotional strain on each sister was immense, as they struggled to manage both personal feelings and public perception simultaneously. Even as efforts to stabilize the situation continued, the story evolved. Fans dissected every interview, post, and appearance, searching for clues and evidence to support their theories. The relentless speculation created a feedback loop, where public interest fueled private tension, which in turn generated more public attention. Insiders indicated that the cycle was emotionally exhausting, leaving the sisters in a near-constant state of vigilance, aware that every word, glance, or interaction could be misinterpreted and magnified. Amidst all this, Tamar reportedly found moments of clarity and strength. She sought support from trusted friends and advisors, worked to maintain her professional commitments, and attempted to separate herself from the chaos that surrounded her. Yet, despite her efforts, the public fascination with the alleged scandal showed no signs of diminishing. Each day brought new rumors, new speculations, and new debates, ensuring that the Braxton family remained at the center of a storm that seemed impossible to escape. The family dynamic, now under immense pressure, highlighted the complexity of fame, loyalty, and perception. Tamar's determination to assert her innocence, Trina and Towanda's struggle to navigate their own roles, and the public's relentless scrutiny created a narrative filled with conflict, tension, and uncertainty. Insiders hinted that more revelations were on the horizon, promising shocking twists, emotional confrontations, and dramatic developments that would continue to captivate fans and keep the family navigating the precarious balance between unity and discord. As the days turned into weeks, the emotional stakes grew higher. Private disagreements became public fodder, and even small interactions were amplified into headlines. Tamar, Trina, and Towanda were reportedly navigating a delicate landscape of trust, loyalty, and perception, each trying to assert control over a situation that seemed increasingly uncontrollable. The combination of family conflict, public speculation, and emotional intensity created a drama that was as riveting as it was exhausting, ensuring that the Braxton saga remained at the forefront of public fascination, with fans eagerly awaiting the next shocking development. The Braxton family drama showed no signs of slowing, and what had begun as whispers had grown into a full-blown media spectacle. As Tamar struggled to assert her innocence, insiders revealed that tensions were now affecting even the most mundane aspects of her life. Simple outings became logistical nightmares, with publicists and friends coordinating meticulously to avoid unwanted encounters with paparazzi or opportunistic reporters. The constant attention was exhausting, and sources claimed Tamar often retreated to private spaces just to escape the relentless scrutiny. Yet, despite the pressure, she maintained a fierce determination to reclaim her narrative, knowing that every statement, every public appearance, carried monumental consequences. Trina and Towanda, meanwhile, were reportedly grappling with their own emotional and reputational challenges. Sources indicated that the sisters were torn between loyalty to Tamar and managing their own images. The perception that they might have contributed to the rumor mill created internal friction, and private conversations often ended in frustration or miscommunication. "We have to protect ourselves too," one insider reportedly quoted Trina as saying during a tense discussion. "This isn't just about Tamar. Our reputations are on the line." Towanda, equally distressed, acknowledged the complexity of balancing family loyalty against public scrutiny, admitting that every word she uttered seemed to be twisted in the public sphere. Amidst this chaos, the narrative surrounding Birdman intensified. Every interaction between him and Tamar was analyzed, from casual social media exchanges to professional meetings that suddenly appeared suspicious in hindsight. Rumors suggested secret phone calls, late-night text messages, and fleeting encounters, all of which were magnified in the court of public opinion. Insiders claimed that Tamar had repeatedly reassured friends that nothing inappropriate had occurred. But in the world of social media, intention was often irrelevant. Perception had become reality, and the pressure to maintain control over her image was relentless. As the scandal unfolded, private family meetings reportedly became increasingly volatile. Voices were raised, tempers flared, and tears were shed as emotions spilled over. Tamar allegedly confronted Trina and Towanda, demanding clarity about their involvement in sharing sensitive information. "We need honesty," Tamar reportedly said, her voice shaking yet resolute. "If we can't be truthful with each other, we have no chance of surviving this." Insiders suggested that the conversation ended ambiguously, with no clear resolution, leaving the sisters more tense and wary of each other than before. The family's bonds, once considered unbreakable, were now tested in ways that could have lasting repercussions. Public attention continued to escalate. Every new interview, social media post, or appearance was dissected by fans and critics alike. Memes and speculative videos circulated endlessly, framing Tamar in ways that ranged from sympathetic to scandalous. Insiders revealed that this constant scrutiny created a cycle of stress and reaction. The more Tamar attempted to clarify the truth, the more the public dissected every nuance, leading to new rumors and further emotional strain. The sisters' personal lives had become intertwined with their public personas, making even casual interactions fraught with potential consequences. Tamar reportedly sought guidance from close friends and trusted advisors to navigate the treacherous media landscape. Strategic interviews, carefully worded social media posts, and deliberate public appearances were all part of an effort to regain control of the narrative. Yet, despite meticulous planning, the unpredictability of public reaction ensured that no statement was ever fully safe from interpretation. Insiders claimed that Tamar remained resolute, refusing to allow misinformation to define her or fracture her relationships with her sisters further. The emotional toll on the family was compounded by speculation about alliances and motivations. Some insiders hinted at friction between Trina and Towanda, suggesting that their differing approaches to managing the scandal had created tension. Private conversations reportedly turned into arguments about loyalty, perception, and personal responsibility. Even as the sisters attempted to support each other, the pressure of public scrutiny made every interaction a potential flashpoint. The delicate balance of trust, familial love, and reputation required constant negotiation, leaving the sisters in a perpetual state of emotional vigilance. Amidst the turmoil, Tamar reportedly continued to assert her innocence publicly, addressing the allegations with clarity and emotion. In interviews, she emphasized the bonds she shared with her family and rejected any notion of wrongdoing. "I would never do anything to hurt my sisters," she said, her voice steady yet tinged with frustration. "These stories are false, and they are tearing us apart. We have to focus on truth, not speculation." Yet, despite her forthrightness, public skepticism remained, fueled by sensationalized reporting and selective editing that amplified doubt and controversy. As events continued to unfold, insiders suggested that new revelations were looming, promising further twists and dramatic confrontations. The public, already captivated by the ongoing scandal, awaited updates eagerly, dissecting every tweet, interview, and social media post for clues. The Braxton family, once admired for their unity, now found themselves navigating a landscape defined by rumor, accusation, and emotional strain. Each revelation had the potential to either mend fractured bonds or deepen existing rifts, creating an atmosphere of perpetual uncertainty. Friends and associates of the family reportedly attempted to mediate, offering advice and attempting to stabilize relations. Private discussions aimed at reconciliation and damage control were intense, emotionally charged, and, at times, inconclusive. Insiders claimed that these interventions, though we often highlighted the depth of the family's divisions, exposing both lingering resentment and profound concern for the well-being of each sister. The dynamic was intricate, requiring a careful balance between honesty, loyalty, and public perception. The narrative surrounding Birdman, Tamar, Trina, and Towanda continued to dominate headlines. Each encounter, each statement, and each fleeting gesture was scrutinized and interpreted. Rumors about secret conversations and hidden motives persisted, keeping fans in a state of suspense. Insiders suggested that the family was caught in a cycle of reaction and speculation, where every effort to clarify the truth inadvertently fueled further controversy. The story had evolved from rumor into a multi-layered saga of familial loyalty, public perception, and emotional complexity. Amidst the ongoing drama, Tamar reportedly found moments of strength and clarity. Friends described her as determined and resilient, committed to defending her reputation and maintaining her relationships despite the relentless scrutiny. Yet, the intensity of public attention remained a source of stress, as even the most carefully crafted statements could be misinterpreted or taken out of context. Insiders emphasized that Tamar's ability to navigate this pressure demonstrated both her emotional fortitude and her strategic awareness of the stakes involved. The Braxton family's interactions, whether private or public, were now defined by tension and heightened sensitivity. Every conversation carried the potential to escalate. Every gesture could be misread, and every decision seemed fraught with consequence. The sisters reportedly worked tirelessly to balance their personal loyalty with the demands of public perception, creating an environment of constant emotional negotiation. Insiders suggested that the ongoing scrutiny had fundamentally altered the family's dynamics, introducing a level of caution and strategic awareness that was previously unnecessary. As the scandal progressed, the role of social media intensified. Fans dissected every nuance, debating motives, credibility, and intentions. Memes, posts, and viral content fueled a narrative of drama, betrayal, and speculation, creating a feedback loop that heightened emotional tension within the family. Insiders reported that the sisters were aware of the power of public perception, Yet navigating the relentless commentary proved exhausting and emotionally draining. The combination of fame, family, and rumor created a scenario in which private interactions were never truly private, and every moment carried the weight of public interpretation. Amid these pressures, Tamar reportedly maintained a disciplined approach to managing the scandal. Strategic appearances, carefully worded statements, and reliance on trusted advisors were central to her efforts. Yet, the unpredictability of public reaction ensured that every action carried risk, and even the most cautious approaches could be twisted into new controversies. Insiders emphasized that the ongoing drama required constant attention, emotional resilience, and strategic planning to navigate successfully, creating a climate of sustained tension and vigilance within the family. The Braxton saga, fueled by rumors, accusations, and public fascination, continued to evolve. Insiders hinted at new developments on the horizon, promising additional confrontations, revelations, and emotional reckonings. The story, which began with whispers of a scandal involving Tamar and Birdman, had grown into a complex narrative encompassing family loyalty, trust, reputation, and the intense scrutiny of fans and media alike. Every interaction, every statement, and every decision carried significance, ensuring that the drama would remain a focal point of public attention for the foreseeable future. And so, after everything that's unfolded, the Braxton family saga leaves us with more questions than answers. Tamar has fiercely defended herself, asserting that the rumors are false and that she would never do anything to betray her sisters. Yet the speculation persists, fueled by leaked clips, social media debates, and conflicting reports from insiders. Trina and Towanda remain caught in the storm as well, navigating their own reputations, relationships, and loyalties, trying to balance truth with perception, all while the public watches and judges every move. Fans are shocked, emotions have run high, and the family has been left divided, but the story is far from over. The beauty and the tragedy of this drama is in its complexity. Relationships that once seemed unshakable are now tested by trust, perception, and public scrutiny. Every phone call, every private meeting, and every glance has been reinterpreted, amplified, and dissected, creating a tangled web of assumptions and allegations. Tamar, Trina, and Towanda are forced to navigate not only the family dynamics but also the court of public opinion, where every word is analyzed and every gesture carries meaning beyond its intent. Fans continue to debate loyalties, motivations, and character, with opinions sharply divided and discussion threads endless. You, as a fan, have a role in this unfolding story. You've watched unfolding story. You've watched the drama, dissected the interactions, and formed your own conclusions about who is right, who is wrong, and what truly happened behind closed doors. Now is the time to make your voice heard. Share your perspective in the comments. Do you believe Tamar's denials? Do you think Trina and Towanda acted out of loyalty or mischief? Who, in your view, is truly telling the truth? And who is playing games? Your insights contribute to the ongoing conversation, helping shape the narrative and giving the family and the world a glimpse into how this drama is being interpreted by those outside the inner circle. Liking this video is more than a simple click. It's a way of showing that you're engaged, that you care about the story, and that you want to see more exclusive insights and updates. Subscribing ensures that you'll be the first to know when new developments emerge, keeping you ahead of the curve in a saga that evolves by the hour. The story isn't static, it's alive, fueled by every conversation, every post, and every piece of evidence that surfaces. Your engagement helps keep the dialogue going, allowing us to continue providing the latest updates, insider information, and detailed breakdowns of every twist and turn in this sensational saga. The Braxton scandal isn't just about rumors, it's about family, loyalty, and the impact of public scrutiny on personal relationships. Every statement made by Tamar, every move by Trina and Towanda, and every reaction from fans contributes to the broader narrative. Your participation is key to understanding the full scope of the drama, and your opinions matter. Comment below with your take on the situation. Do you think the sisters can rebuild trust? Will Tamar's public defense be enough to restore her reputation? Is this family feud destined to escalate further, or is reconciliation on the horizon? Your engagement shapes the conversation and ensures that this story continues to be dissected, analyzed, and discussed at length. And let's not forget the power of discussion beyond the video. Share this with friends, family, or fellow fans who are following the story. Spark conversations, debates, and even predictions about what might happen next. Every share extends the reach of this saga, ensuring that new perspectives enter the mix and that the drama continues to unfold in the public eye. The Braxton family story thrives on engagement, and your participation ensures that the discussion remains dynamic, evolving, and deeply compelling. Finally, remember that while this saga is captivating, it's also a reminder of the complexity of fame and family. Personal relationships are deeply affected by public perception, and the way a story is told can influence both reputations and emotional well-being. By engaging thoughtfully through likes, comments, and shares, you become part of a conversation that matters, contributing to a narrative that is constantly evolving, rich with drama, and full of surprises. So, don't just watch. Engage, comment, like, subscribe. Let your voice be part of this unfolding story. The Braxton family saga is far from over, and your perspective matters as the twists, turns, and shocking revelations continue to captivate audiences worldwide. Fans are watching, emotions are high, and the drama is ongoing, so make sure your voice is part of it. Share your take, interact with others, and stay connected to every development as Tamar, Trina, and Towanda navigate this storm together. This is your moment to be part of the conversation, to weigh in on loyalty, truth, and scandal, and to ensure that your opinion is heard in the ever-evolving saga of the Braxton family. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and remember, your voice helps shape the story. Comment, like, and subscribe to stay on top of every shocking revelation, every emotional confrontation, and every dramatic twist in the Braxton family drama. The story isn't just theirs anymore, it's ours, and your input matters. Be part of the conversation, and watch as this sensational saga continues to unfold in ways that will shock, surprise, and captivate fans around the world.